Hey everyone, it's Julie Lawrence from TeacherJulieOnline.com. On my channel, I talk about teaching online with companies such as VIPKid and Outschool. I also coach and mentor people who want to get into the business of teaching online. If that is something you are interested in, please reach out to me. You can find me on my email at teacherjulieonline@gmail.com. In this video, I am going to share just a few things that I've learned in my almost 4 weeks of teaching on the Outschool platform. These are just a few things that I have found are working well for me, and so I wanted to share them with you in case they may be helpful on your own Outschool journey. So I have found that the hardest part of being an Outschool teacher is actually creating the class and going through the process to get the class approved. Now, here's what's been happening for me. I am having all these ideas move around in my head, and I'm writing them all down on my own notes as fast as I can, and then I am sort of mentally creating this class and picturing how I want it to go in my head and kind of writing it out in a brief outline and then submitting it. And then I'm coming back and trying to write it. And what I'm finding is as I write out my lesson plan, which is what I have to do. I know not every teacher has to write a lesson plan, but for the types of classes that I teach and just my own personality, I write a lesson plan. So as I'm writing it out, I'm finding that it may have changed a little bit from the class description, or I may have added something here that I didn't put in the class description, or maybe I think that's too much in this class, so I need to take it out of the class description, and I'm having to go back and make edits and changes. And so for my own planning purposes, I have decided that I am going to fully write my classes how I want them to be taught before submitting them. I think I just get overexcited because I want to teach, and I want to list all these classes. So I feel like I have to put them out there and get them approved. And it does take several days for them to approve your classes, and so I think I just got over anxious to get them listed. So I got like 6 classes approved the other day, and of course I want to teach right away, so I went ahead and listed sections, and they started booking, and I haven't even finished writing some of these classes. So my suggestion would be, if you teach a class like that where you have to actually write a lesson plan or really plan out how you're going to teach that class, I would do it before submitting. And maybe everyone else does that and they're thinking, wow, you're really dumb for doing it that way. I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. So that would be my first recommendation. Next is I would try to pick a really catchy title, and they do suggest that when you're writing your class. You'll see it on their helpful suggestions. A catchy title, I think, attracts parents. It attracts people when they're scrolling through their social media. That might jump out at them. For example, I have a class called Rock the Clock, and I think that just flows well, and plus it's a class with series, so I have rock the clock telling time to the hour, rock the clock telling time to the quarter, rock the clock telling time to the minute. And so parents can see that this is a consistent class that builds upon itself, and I think that that's helpful when booking, when they're looking to book a class for their child, that they can see that their child can move through these courses and it's going to be consistent in the way it's being taught. So I think a catchy title is helpful. I also think a good picture is important, and I love creating my thumbnail. I do it on Canva. I think it's a fun part of the process, and I do think that having that catchy picture that jumps out is helpful. I talked about this in another video, how I changed my picture and all of a sudden got more bookings. I don't know if it had to do with the picture, but it's a coincidence that I went in and I thought this picture is really not doing anything for me. I think I'm going to change out my picture, and then I got enrollments. I don't know. It's something to try, changing out the picture. The other thing I found is that I need to have full class descriptions. So I think the more details you can give to a parent, the better. And again, this is something that Outschool suggests. They want you to have detailed class description. The more you can tell someone about what you're going to be doing with their child for the 30 minutes, the 45 minutes, the hour that you have them, the more likely they are going to be to book your class, because they want to know what they're paying for. What are they getting for their money? So I have really been spending a lot of time making full class descriptions, almost putting like everything that we're going to do, without saying everything we're going to do, but in this class, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get guided practice. You're going to get a mini lesson with a slideshow and teacher modeling. You're going to get feedback. Each child will get feedback. Each child will have time for independent practice. Whatever is in your class, I'm finding that when I'm putting more of those details in, parents are booking those classes. The other thing I've started filling out that I wasn't before was the teacher expertise. I kind of let that go in a couple of my first classes, but now I've been adding to that. I've been saying what kind of classes that I taught. I've been a brick and mortar elementary classroom teacher, and these are the grades that I've taught. And I have a master's degree in reading, and so this is the expertise that I can offer to you. It also helps when you're ready to raise your prices, right? If you are going to go in to do a price increase, it might be a good idea to say why you're worth it. Why are you worth a parent paying more money? Well, this is why, because I have a doctorate of philosophy or whatever it is. Okay, I definitely do not have that. Okay, so those are basically my tips that I can think of right now for listing classes. Now, you've got your class listed. You've got it's out there ready for parents to book. How do you get those bookings to come in? So really what I have found are those things that I said, having a good title, a good picture, a good class description, and then I have posted my classes on Facebook. That's a good way to get the word out, using friends and family to sign up. So far I haven't had any of my family members take a class, but I've thought about it. But I have had several of my friends sign up their kids to take some of my classes, and that helps get the bookings coming in because you can get your friends to leave a good review, hopefully, if they're good friends. They'll leave a good review. Once that class has reviews and parents can see that other kids have taken that class, they're more likely to sign up their own children for that class. Another thing that I've heard about that I haven't taken advantage of is called Teacher Swap. And I think that there's a group that is Outschool teachers, and if this teacher needs their class filled, they might put it out there, and then another teacher will have their child take that class, and then in return, this child will take this teacher's class. So teacher swap is also a good way to fill classes, or maybe fill that last spot in your class that you need, or maybe you only have one student enrolled and you'd really like to have two. A teacher swap is a good idea, and I think there's some Facebook groups that do that. Another thing is, once you have a class going, I would always use the next class feature so that parents see, now your child has finished this class, Julie recommends taking this class next. And that really only works for classes that are similar. So for example, I do that with my clock class. Once they finish time to the hour, it automatically recommends time to the quarter hour, and then it automatically recommends the next one. Some of my preschool ones, I teach my preschool teddy bear class, and it automatically recommends circle time for your preschooler. So try to think of those classes in your portfolio that are similar, and always use that next class feature. It can't hurt, right? Get those parents to book you again. And finally, my last tip is just to have good communication with the families. I think that is so important. In this business, we have to take care of our customer service. Yes, we have Outschool working for us, doing a lot of the admin stuff, but as the teacher, you want people to take your classes, and you also want repeat clients, right? So I've said this in some of my other videos, but after every class, I am messaging every single parent and telling them something special about their child, something their child did well, maybe something they can practice on in the future. Just following up and making sure that they know that you know who their child is, and that there was something recognizable about their child. I think that goes a long, long way. And I already am seeing kids come back that want to either take the same class again, or they're signing up for another class that I offer. I've had parents reaching out to me asking for me to please write a class about this, and please offer a class about this, and that's great. That's great feedback to know what they want. You can't please everybody, of course, but it's what we want. We want the parent to want to come back to our class. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I've been with Outschool for a little over 4 weeks, and it's going really, really well. I'm as booked as I want to be right now. I'm hoping that this is a sustainable pattern. I'm going to take a little break from writing more classes and submitting more classes, even though it's tempting. I have a long list of ones I want to do. But I'm going to try to settle in with the classes that I have. I think I have about 12 classes listed right now. And so I'm finding that that's plenty for me to teach right now, and it's making really good money. And once I hit my first financial goal, I'm going to make another video about what that financial goal was and how long it took me to get there and how many hours I worked and what I had to do to get there and so on and so forth. So that's in a future video. But I just wanted to make this quick video with these few tips that may seem like no-brainers to you, and especially to those of you that have been doing this for so long. But it's what's worked for me. I hope maybe something will work for you and be helpful. Again, if you have any questions for me, or if you want to chat about Outschool or VIPKid, please reach out to me, teacherjulieonline@gmail.com. I have a website, teacherjulieonline.com. Happy teaching. See you soon.